Wasn't that fun?
Yeah.
Just wait, it gets better.
So this morning, we greet you in the name of all that is good and all that is sacred and all that is less than 105 degrees outside. And in the warm and loving energy of this community, Spiritual Life Center. And if it's your first time with us today, either on live stream or here in our sanctuary, we especially want to welcome you because we know that we are all here, not by accident, but by divine appointment. And we are so grateful that you have kept your appointment with us today. And also grateful that you are keeping your appointment with your cell phone to silence it during the service.
And you are in for such a treat. Let's open with prayer on this beautiful day. So take a deep breath and go with me to a really sweet spot. And on this day, the first day of not 3-digit temperatures, let us rest in a place of gratitude for a cooling trend. May we feel the cool relief of a mind free of circling thoughts and a heart full of divine purpose and loving connections here at Spiritual Life Center. And as we hold the world lightly, we see that wherever people have lost loved ones or property or are suffering, that there's a way of hope. And that way of hope is always from the heart. And may we take care of one another in the energy of this loving community, that no matter our political leanings, our culture, spiritual roots, race, gender, sexual orientation, that we are all brothers and sisters on this beautiful planet. And may we deeply experience our eternal togetherness. May we commit to embrace one another, to honor all of our human siblings, whether we agree or not. For as we remember in practice the roots of our community soul here, which is our deepest prayerful presence to be love, to be of service, and to remember our oneness. And it is so. Aho. And speaking of great blessings, this morning we have wonderful guests with us, Melissa and Z, and Paula's going to say more words about them later, but let's greet them warmly.
This Wednesday at our Wow Wednesday program is a really fantastic one. We have the excellent guitarist John Merriman, who's performed at so many of our events here, and he is coming to play some of his original music, but also to give us a rare glimpse into his personal spiritual journey. So it's the stories behind the music, and his program is called I Admit It, I'm a Christian. So there's always community salad at 6, and the program will be at 7. And you can also think of it as sort of a sneak peek into Guys with Guitars, which is our upcoming Mystic Cafe event. John is one of 6 guitarists who are going to be performing that night. And as always, we're going to be having the appetizer reception, the intermission dessert buffet. It's always a good time, and tickets are already more than half sold for that event. So it always sells out, so be sure to pick yours up today.
We always say that, and it always sells out.
It always sells out. It really does. And then Paula is going to come and tell us a few words about an event coming up.
Yes, I'd like to tell you about an event in case you're not going out of town for the 4th of July and you'd like to get an early start to your day. There is an event at the Southside Park. It is on the 4th of July. and it is called the Interdependence Day. There will be speakers, musicians. Ellen Springwood will be there doing a sand mandala. There will be activities for the children. There'll be speakers. Sacramento is going to be dedicated as a compassionate city. And Soul Light Connection is going to open up the whole festivities at 10 o'clock a.m. before it gets blazing out there. So we're going to do a half an hour set and represent SLC at this event. And there is a website that you can go to, and we have it. You put a link on ours, so you can go and look at that at Southside Park, July 4th, 10 a.m. Good time.
And now brace yourselves for some strong language. What does a choir bake sale and the term badass have in common?
The letter B?
Okay, so, right. So we're going to have a choir bake sale in the courtyard after service, and I have it on good authority that there are yummy things out there, although I didn't swoop in and buy one of Vera's Ozark brownies, because you all know what I'm talking about. So get out there early. So it's the bake sale, and it's the upcoming Badass 101 workshop with Reverend James and Celia Coughlin-Surridge. It's outside of our box for most of us. We're not in a box most of the time. Right. Well, you know, it's bending what we usually offer. Let's just say that. So it has some strong language, so if you find offense with that, don't sign up for the class, right? But if you really want to shake things up in your life, you have maybe an area where you may be stuck, it's an opportunity to join together on kind of an irreverent tone that may just shake some things free that might be stuck. And we all, you know, have different areas where that happens. So don't miss it if you have any inkling that you'd like to rattle some things. There are books that have been flying off the cashier table. So there are books available, you can sign up, and it starts in July. And it really is outside of the box for most of what we've offered here. And I think I'm going to take it, and you read the book.
I read the book, and I made some big life changes in the spring, and I'm having so much fun with those that I'm going to take the class again, and I'm looking forward to studying it with a lot of other badasses.
And I must say, you do look different. You do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Just a little
Great.
better. Yeah. Okay, where are we on this? Oh, today we are kicking off our church-wide summer community service project, and we really hope that everyone will get involved with it. And Tess Keene is our coordinator. She's here with Joy Justice of World Relief and Pat in the Hat.
I'm channeling Sally. Sally Sion was the creative inspiration for the hat. It symbolizes our interest in gathering supplies for refugees coming into the Sacramento area, being resettled with the able assistance of Joy Justice and her compadres and compassionate friends at World Relief of Sacramento. We've done this project before where we gather supplies into bins. There are 5 types of bins. We've got all the information out on a table in the courtyard. And we did this project a couple of years ago. But in addition, the Tithing Committee and the Board of Directors of SLC has seen fit on several occasions to gift cash donation to World Relief. And Joy wants to tell us a little bit about the most beautiful impact of that. But before I introduce Joy, I remember one thing that have developed after the first service. You have the opportunity to donate a full bin of supplies, like a kitchen bin, or one item. So if your prosperity right now is trickling rather than flowing, we had a wonderful gift of $5 after the first service to seed your ability to give. This is a perfect way to dive in deeper into that flow of prosperity. So please feel empowered when you come to find me to get this $5 bill to go out and shop. And with that, I want to give you Joy Justice.
Thank you. It's an honor to be with you today. I don't know if you know, but this last Tuesday was World Refugee Day. And today is World Refugee Sunday, where congregations around the world gather to remember refugees for their courage and their resilience. And we at World Relief were experiencing a little bit of tension this week because as we wanted to gather together and remember the incredible courage and resilience of our refugee neighbors, we also were sitting in the heavy reality that there are still over 60 million people forcibly displaced right now in our world and over 20 million refugees. And I had an experience on Friday that I want to share with you. I was rushing out to go to a meeting, and I ran into one of our volunteers who we matched with an Afghan family. And she paused me and slowed me down, and she looked me in the eye, and she said, "I could never thank you for what you have done for me. You have introduced me to Brishna and Kadem, and they have become like family to me, and I will know them the rest of my life." And what she didn't know is that 2 days before that, one of my staff was at the airport welcoming another refugee family who had worked with the U.S. military in Afghanistan. And the family that I had matched this volunteer with was there to welcome this new family. And he had gone up to my staff and said, "I could never thank you for what you have done for me and my family. You matched me with this volunteer who has become like family to me. And we never knew how hard it would be to begin our life here in Sacramento. But because of our friendship with this volunteer, we have decided to stay here when we had considered going back to Afghanistan." And that reminded me of the simple miracle of friendship and how that can change so much of our life. And I want to thank you today from the bottom of my heart on behalf of World Relief for the ways that the Spiritual Life Center has partnered with World Relief. We are incredibly grateful for your generosity, for those of you that volunteer, and for this Welcome Kit drive. So thank you.
So we have exciting news. Spiritual Life Center is getting a church directory, which we haven't had one of those in quite some time.
Since 2004. Something like that. Yep.
A few new faces since then.
Just a few.
And so we want to ask you to save the date for Friday, August 4th or Saturday, August 5th. That's when photographers from Life Touch are going to be here taking pictures of everybody for the directory. And we'll have a lot more information coming up, but just mark your calendar for those dates because we want to be sure that your smiling face is in our directory. And we also have, we just wanted to take a moment and celebrate the completion of the Build for Unity project with Habitat for Humanity. As many of you know, for the last several months, we've had volunteers from SLC working to complete these two homes in combination with 180 other congregations and individuals and donors. And the homes are done. Last Thursday, they had a dedication ceremony, and they gave the keys to the new homeowners. And it was just really exciting. And so we want to honor everyone in SLC who did sweat equity on the home, but also who donated. We all donated with our tithes.
Raise your hand if you worked on that Unity build. Wonderful.
Nice.
Yeah.
And just one exciting thing about that, that was the Habitat for Humanity's first interfaith Build for Unity, and it spawned a movement, and there are now 13 Build for Unity projects in the country that are being constructed right now.
It's wonderful. So right now we want to introduce you all to some wonderful people. We've got our prayer chaplains and our ambassadors, if you'll please stand. Our ambassadors wear that rainbow ribbon, and that's a sign that they're friendly people, and they're here to greet you and show you the ropes of this community. Our prayer chaplains wear those white stoles, and those white stoles, those are very symbolic, as those chaplains dedicate a year of their lives and some multiple years to serve this community in holding us in sacred prayer. It's confidential prayer for any celebration or challenge. See them today in the back of the sanctuary after service or across the courtyard for that wonderful special prayer that they have to offer.
And if you are here for the first time today, we have a welcome card for you, and it's a great way to get connected to all that SLC has to offer. So we ask that you fill it out. You can drop it in the offering basket, or if you take it in person over to the welcome table across the courtyard, you get presents.
So raise your hand now if you're new here today for the first time.
Any newcomers?
Well, we are all family. Hot dang. So y'all know the drill. Stand and greet one another.
Now I invite you to please be seated. Settle into our seats. We're going to flow a little bit differently today in honor of our guests, get maximum time with them. So I invite you now to embody the words as we read together our vision statement. Spiritual Life Center is a loving, vibrant family that welcomes home all people and accepts everyone, no exceptions. Weaving ancient spiritual traditions with emerging wisdom, we cultivate a spiritual deepening with the divine, each other, and our planet. I have the honor of introducing our guest today. Reverend Dr. Melissa Phillipe is a singer-songwriter and a teacher with 9 albums of original music in release. She is also a Toltec mentor, personally trained by Don Miguel Ruiz, author of The 4 Agreements. Her wife, Reverend Z. Egloff, is a cartoonist, spoken word artist, and author of the spiritual human blog, Life in ZD, a goofball's guide to enlightenment. Melissa and Z are the founders of Oh My God Life, an online and traveling ministry. Their mission is to bring radical joy to the world, and we're definitely going to have a taste of that today. Are you ready? Yes. Melissa and Z.
Good morning. It's very, very nice to be back with you. It's been a long time for me, for us. So we're going to sing together. You too, I mean, we're all going to sing together and go into meditation. So please join us. There is only one of us. In your eyes, it's me I see. There is only one of us. You are my reflection. There is only one. There is only one of us. In your eyes, it's me I see. There is There is only one. You are my reflection. You are my reflection. There is only one. Breathing. Big, deep breaths. Aware that as we breathe, because there is only one thing happening everywhere all the time. Infinite, infinite love. And it must be that that is what we breathe in. All of that. And that is who is breathing. This infinite, perfect love. So our invitation this morning is to remember this truth. Who we are, what we're made of, and where we sit, surrounded, enfolded, infused by one perfect love. And to breathe in the remembering of this truth. By doing so, allowing ourselves to be set free from anything unlike this truth. We breathe in the truth. We let go anything else. Perfect love. That's the truth. That is all that's here. And we let ourselves be free, and be in and as this.
It started out small, something less than a touch. I didn't even know it was you. God was unreliable, a crazy man, righteous, someone I should love and fear. What kind of sense is that? It started out small, something less than a touch. I didn't even know it was you. When I stumbled upon your power, I lost what I was taught. The crazy and the righteous enfolded in a love so vast it stretched the very definition of the word. Love your peace and your presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me. Together, I feel your peace and your presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me.
I surrender. I surrender to your love. I surrender. I surrender to your love.
You are not outside of me, and yet you are. It makes no sense, but then it does, for you are here wherever here may be. I speak to you. You speak to me. The voice is mine and not mine, landing in the space between where you and I vanish and begin, stretching the very definition of the word. Me. You. Together, I feel your peace and your presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me. I feel your peace and your presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me.
I surrender. I surrender to your love. I surrender. I surrender to your love.
Together, I feel your peace and your presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me. I feel your peace and your presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me. I feel your peace and your presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me. I feel your peace and your presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me. I feel your peace and your presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me. I feel your peace and your presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me. I feel your peace and your presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me. I feel your peace and your presence and your power. My God, I feel your peace and your presence in me.
I surrender.
I feel your peace and your presence and your power. invite you all to take a breath. Inhale and exhale with a sigh. If you're like me, you probably just don't want to leave that space, right? Let's just stay there. But no, we're going to talk now. We're talking today about freedom. Freedom can mean a lot of things, right? Financial freedom, emotional freedom, spiritual freedom to stay in the peace and the presence and the power all the time. And I don't know about you, but sometimes things seem to get in the way. Things, external, environmental things, other people, and we all know here as metaphysicians that there's nothing like the internal blocks to our freedom, right? That's the fun stuff that we get to work on, and it's the only stuff we can control, so that helps. So are you up for that today, to kind of talk about some of the blocks we might have to freedom? All right. Melissa is going to get us started. Melissa?
Thank you, baby.
You're welcome.
Good morning. It's good to be here with you. So I used to hate myself. Now, I'm not talking about a mild, I could take her or leave her kind of like not like myself. I'm talking about toxic disdain, intense hatred, complete rejection of me. Because, why? I sucked. And in my opinion, anyone who knew me at all knew that. But I knew it most of all, right? And the thing about that was, for me at that time, I don't know if any of you have ever experienced any of this, but for me at that time, I hated myself vehemently, and I was a victim of you all, the world. The universe felt really, truly like it was out to get me, And that ticked me off. Like, seriously, screw the world. Just wants to screw me over anyway, right? So I was a very angry victim. So attractive, right? You all have at least known one, if not been one, right? It's just such a lovely look, the attractive victim look. So when I was 13 years old, I became a full-blown drug addict. Now I know how young that was. But when I was 13, of course, I was a grown-up in my mind, and I became a full-blown drug addict. And they went together, right? That self-hatred, that shame, that toxic shame. That's at the core of addiction. All addiction is this shame, this horribleness about me. I suck. And maybe I won't notice as much, and maybe you won't notice if only I have another, whatever it might be that we're addicted to, right? So that was my experience. Now, the good thing is that when I was about 19 years old, I switched colleges. I found this man, my mentor at college, the one I went to, and I was a classical piano major at that college. Well, psychology and classical piano. And he was my piano instructor. And he taught all of us meditation. He taught us meditation as an intention to use it in performance, to meditate and become very deeply present, and then be able to move out of your body and watch yourself play a concert. Very cool, right? Especially for someone who loved things like LSD. Yeah, so it was really fun for me. Woo! I was good at it too, because I'd had all this other kind of, out-of-body things. So anyway, the other thing he taught me, besides meditation, which is life-changing enough, right? The other thing he taught me was something that neither he nor I, would it be neither he nor I, is that correct?
Mm-hmm, that's correct.
My wife, she's the writer. Neither of us would have known that it was metaphysics, but that's what he taught me. he taught me that I was responsible for my life. Now, for me at this time, this was both good news and bad news, right? Because it was a glimmer into the possibility that maybe I could be free. But it was also a reason to blame and shame myself, because look what I created. So my experience looking back now is that I went from this trajectory of my life becoming worse and worse all the time, from when I was 13 into all through my 20s, into the beginning of my 30s. I had been on this trajectory of living in hell, of the drama, of, relationships, money, self, like anything. It was all bad, right? So I was in hell, and I was walking along deeper and deeper into hell as I got better and better at hating myself and finding more and more evidence for why I should. That was my life. Woohoo! If only they had had reality TV. But they didn't. So my experience is now looking back that when I met him and he taught me meditation and taught me that I was responsible for co-creating my life and responsible for my experience of my life, I feel like now looking back, I stopped walking deeper and deeper into hell, and I started walking like across hell, but right about where I had been. And then, 29 years ago in July, I got sober, which is a miracle, and you can applaud. Thank you. It's very cool. It's really a miracle. It's really a miracle, and I'm so grateful. My experience is that at that point, when I got sober, I turned and started walking out of hell. That's my experience. That's my little, I like metaphors. I have a metaphor for everything. That's my metaphor for that path. And what happened for me is that more and more I came to be who I am today. Come on. Now, I'm just saying, who I am today is completely unrecognizable. Now, I'm not saying I never have shame, and I'm not saying there's no area of my life I think I can improve, because that isn't true. But I really think I am a badass. Thank you. Thank you, Stephen. I mean, I really do. I actually adore myself. I had one time, this is years ago, and I've gotten more in level with myself since, but I remember one morning looking in the mirror and going, it was a kind of a psychedelic moment, so forgive the flashback aspect of it, but I looked in the mirror and I heard myself think to myself, I wouldn't mind being her. And then I kind of went, well, who the hell was that? But I thought, wow, that's really cool. That is not what I would have thought looking in the mirror most of my life. And now I think things like that when I look in the mirror. I'm not saying I don't think other things ever, and I certainly don't think I'm any better than anyone here. I do not think I'm more of a badass. My wife says I'm a kick-ass. That's her term for me. Baby, you're such a kick-ass. I have that, I grew up singing rock and roll in bars. Now I sing about God in church instead. So you have that. I mean, I'm not saying I have it any more than you, but I definitely know that if I'm not feeling that way, here's my summary now of spiritual path. Ready? A lot of years of studying with a lot of different types of things. This is my summary. If I am feeling bad, I am believing a lie. If I am feeling bad, I am believing a lie. Now, there's good news and bad news about this, and one of the pieces that can be challenging is that is true whether I'm thinking that lie about me or about someone else. And I mean anyone else. If you are feeling bad, you are telling yourself a lie and believing it. That's my summary, right? So, now, there's an experience that's sort of different about this, which I always like to mention, which is grief. Grief, it's kind of its own thing, right? And It has to have its way. It has to move through. It has to do its thing. But I also noticed that for me, when I allow myself grief and I don't resist it, when I'm really present with it and feel it deeply, it doesn't actually feel bad. It's not like I want to feel that all the time, but it just has to do its thing. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? It's not like I'm suffering in it. I'm just being in it. But I always like to mention grief because people go, well, I feel pretty bad, but I just lost my spouse or something, or I'm like, oh, wait, that's not what I meant. So in general, I still would say that that's true. Now, here's what quantum physicists say about this. I love this quote. So in our training as ministers, we had to take a bunch of quantum physics classes because, that makes sense to them. So one of the things and the quantum physics classes were my very favorite of all the classes. I just love quantum physics when it comes to metaphysics because quantum physicists are now proving what we metaphysicians have been saying for thousands of years. So it proves me right, and I like to be right. Okay, here's what they say. What we experience and believe and see and think we know we're seeing, all of that, right, with our senses, is 1/2 of 1/1,000,000th of a % of what is actually happening. What we perceive with our senses is 1/2 of 1/1,000,000th of a % of what is happening. So if you're not liking what's happening, just look somewhere else. Look with different eyes, right? Now, here's the really great news to me. Still, I lean on this when I'm in times of suffering. Not that I ever go there, of course, but I do. But when I'm believing a lie, here's what I like to remind myself. It took me a long time to get from believing what I had and my self-hatred about myself to here. But it didn't take me as long as it took me to get to that self-hatred. So here's the thing. The truth is the truth whether you believe it or not, right? It's just true. The sun's going to come out tomorrow, even if you affirm, even if you prayed for it not to, even if you got a bunch of people to pray for it not to, the sun is coming up tomorrow, right? Whether you believe it is or not. And there are people who don't believe it is. There's I know some. You just watch. But it will probably come up tomorrow. And that's true whether you believe it or not. So here's the good news about that. The truth has always been true even when you didn't believe it. So whatever part of you think is not all that, not perfect, not okay, it's okay that you believe that because it's a lie. But it's just like your experience, your being is just waiting for you to turn your attention to see the truth, that you are perfect, you are divine, you are all that. And when we know that more and more deeply, we can stand, in my term I love these days, I'm using it for myself, I stand in unapologetic confidence that I am divine. I stand in unapologetic confidence that I am divine. And the good news is it took less to come to that truth because it's the truth. So practicing believing it, that's practicing like we all do to become good at anything, right? We have to practice. When you were a little kid, you know how babies are? You love to be with babies. They feel so good because they know the truth. They are the truth. They haven't had it taught out of them, right? They just are being that. But it gets taught out of us. And the good news is that we had to practice to know the lie about ourselves, but we don't have to practice as much to know the truth, because it's the truth. And it's like going downstream. It's like we've been paddling to go really, really working really hard to go upstream and believe we're not enough, we're not okay. No, I'm ignoring all the evidence that I'm okay. And I'm determined to know that I'm not. And if we say, I'm okay, and I can be better and better, and I can know that truth more and more fully, then we're turning our boat and going downstream. And downstream is where all your good is. So that's our invitation for you this morning. Now, in the process of that, I have a little secret mantra for you. This is like the secret handshake, that you're not supposed to tell anybody. And I always like to do it from stage just because, I'm kick-ass like that. So it's a mantra that I have come to after years of study, and it was given to me by a spiritual teacher, and I would like you to practice it so you can take it with you. So if you take a big old breath, close your eyes, and get comfortable in your chair, and aware that you are safe in this space, I want you to invite that voice in your head that says that you're not okay because of whatever to appear before you, standing before you, and maybe even saying, you're just so whatever it is. See that voice and breathe in and feel. And now while you look at that voice, at that aspect of you, as that aspect of race consciousness, if you will, I'd like you to repeat this phrase after me. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Go ahead. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Again, breathe, and liar, liar, pants on fire. And one more time. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Z.
Thank you, Melissa. You didn't know you were going to get a magical secret mantra today, right? That's pretty cool. When we're talking about this journey from shame to freedom, from the liar to truth, there's actually a really great movie out there that's totally emblematic of this journey. You may or may not have heard of it. The movie is called Dumbo. Anyone? Dumbo? Remember that one? Yeah? Okay, so I'm thinking that nobody watched it yesterday. Maybe, I don't know. But they're actually going to do a remake of it, I've heard, which is good because hopefully they'll take out the unfortunate, totally racist elements in there of the depictions of the crows and the circus workers. So yeah, hopefully, let's see, well, we can pray for that, right? That they get it together this time. But for the purposes of this discussion, we're going to talk about the story of Dumbo itself, okay? So I'll give you a brief synopsis so we can all be on the same page. All right, so this little guy, Dumbo, is born in the circus to his mom, whose name is Mrs. Jumbo. There's never a Mr., I don't know. But anyway, so his name is actually Dumbo Jumbo. They never spell that out, but I put that together. So this little guy is born, and elephants, they have pretty big ears, but Dumbo's ears are like freakishly large, like super, super big. Mrs. Jumbo doesn't see a problem, right? She doesn't see ears too big, ears too small, anything. She just loves her little boy, right? The other elephants, however, not so nice. I always thought elephants were supposed to be really spiritual and everything. These elephants are not nice. They taunt this poor little guy. On and on and on and on, until Mrs. Jumbo finally just freaks out. She goes ballistic, she takes off on them, and they send her to elephant jail. It's really sad, I know. And talk about something for Dumbo to feel bad about, to feel shame. So here's something that's just him, that he, and because of it, he's all alone, and his mom is in jail. Help comes along in the form of a small, possibly alcoholic mouse named Timothy. So Timothy comes on the scene. He's the only one who will be friends with Dumbo, and he's like, hey, dude, let's go party. Let's go drinking. because that's what you do, I guess, at the circus. And so they go out one night and they get wasted, I guess, and they wake up the next morning up in a tree. They cannot remember how they got there. But Timothy, in spite of the alcoholic haze, manages to go, wait a minute. He puts it together. He goes, Dumbo, those ears of yours, those are magical. You can fly, dude. That's how we got here. Dumbo does not believe it. Denial is always the first step. Dumbo's just like, no, that cannot be true. So Timothy has to make up a story to get Dumbo to believe that he can do what he can already do, right? That's where this magic feather thing comes in. He goes, okay, you hold on to this magic feather and then you can fly. Dumbo buys it until he's performing for the first time in front of the whole circus and he drops the magic feather. So you have this elephant and a talking mouse up in the air without his magic feather, and so Timothy, who's always with him, has to do some really quick thinking. Now, in a moment like that, there's only one thing to do, and that's tell the truth. So Timothy says, Dumbo, you can fly. You don't need the magic feather. And because it's the truth, Dumbo can hear it. He flies all around the circus. Everybody's happy. They let his mom out of elephant jail. It's all good. That is the story of Dumbo, according to me. All right. So when Melissa and I saw this movie a little while ago, I was really struck by this story. I thought it was actually a deeply spiritual story, and I also really identified with Dumbo. Now, it's not my ears. You may have known my ears. I like to say I have suspiciously small ears. They're very, very little. But I do have something about my appearance that tends to attract attention. You may or may not have noticed, but I look a little bit like a guy. Just a little. Yeah. So much so that if I go to a grocery store or something and the person at the checkout doesn't know me and they say, "Can I help you, ma'am?" I'm actually really surprised. Like, you really? Because it's usually, "Can I help you, sir?" And I totally get it. Women's bathrooms. Oh, those are fun. I have actually had more than one time a woman scream when I walk in the bathroom, not in a good way, There's a lot more attention about this now, right? So I have some tricks that I do. I bring Melissa with me to show that I'm pre-approved, right? Like, I'm good to God, yeah. Or I stick out, what little I've got, like that, helps a little. And then I have this other trick where it's like, okay, boy, girl. Boy, girl. So I do that, and then I do the stick, and then so that makes it better. But I still mostly just try to avoid. I try to find the gender-neutral bathrooms. Yeah. I can still remember the first time I acknowledged who I was. I was living alone for the first time. So in the first time, I'm not surrounded by other people and their views of me and their expectations of me, right? I was in my own space. I was in my early 20s, and I can still remember where I was in the house, and I thought to myself, I'm biologically female, but my energy is really androgynous, right? And then the minute I acknowledged that to myself, it was like, no, like, not okay. Kind of like Dumbo, right? Denial is the first step. Like, that is not, no, push it down. So I did. Like, nope. But after that moment, whenever I would see someone who looks like me now, well, first of all, I would be scared of her. And second of all, I would think, I wish I had the guts. I wish I had the guts to express myself that way. So years go by, and I've moved out to California at that point. Woohoo! And I'm working for Sonoma County Public Health Department, and it's Halloween. So we go crazy at the public health department, and we decided we were going to dress up like a zombie ghost town. And my boss was going to be the sheriff, but she had to go out of town, so she said, "Will you be the sheriff?" And I said, "Okay, all right." So I got my hat, and I put on a mustache, and I put on a vest and my badge, and I sauntered on into work that day. And all my coworkers, who were all straight, gender-conforming folks, they said, you know, I don't know what it is, but you look really good as a dead zombie sheriff dude. And it was like my magic feather, right? It was the thing that allowed me to do what I thought I couldn't do. And after that day, after that moment of owning it and getting so much like, yeah, I had a series of revelations. I was thinking, you know, little boys aren't born wearing little boy clothes. Little girls aren't born wearing little girl clothes. We make this stuff up. Who's to say I can't wear these clothes? These aren't men's clothes or women's clothes. These are my clothes, right? And it was this powerful thing. And when I saw the movie Dumbo, what I was struck by is that thing about ourselves that we make wrong, that we maybe get ridiculed for, that is the source of our greatest strength, right? Dumbo, with those ears, he could fly. He could fly. He was an elephant, and he could fly. And for me, when I owned my gender expression, I found sources of strength and softness that I had never known before. So when we think about this, when we all think about this journey, right, of owning these maybe disowned parts, how do we get there? Well, I want to talk about two ways. The first is help from expected and unexpected allies. So you think about Dumbo and Timothy. Elephants and mice are not supposed to get along, right? They're supposed to be enemies. But that's where his help came from. And for me, it was my straight gender-conforming coworkers who were the most supportive of my expression. So that's one, help from expected and unexpected allies. And the second is help from the divine. And with Dumbo, this is represented by Mrs. Jumbo. Mrs. Jumbo did not see a problem. You see what I'm saying? There wasn't a problem with Dumbo. He was beautiful, just as he was. And for me, it was my spiritual community. It was meditation, prayer, music. I can still remember the first time I heard the Ricky Byers-Beckwith song, "No mistakes have been made in God." And I just thought, oh, that's it, right? That's it. So I want to leave you with some questions. When you think about that part of yourself, or parts of yourself that you've made wrong, the divine gave you those things. The divine gave you that to love. So the questions are you willing to let in help from expected and unexpected allies? Are you willing to let in the love of the divine? Are you willing to find the unexpected gifts and strengths in yourself? Because when you're loving that part of yourself, you're loving God. You're loving God. Thank you.
That's my wife. Please repeat after me. Today, I set myself free from shame. If I feel ashamed, I am believing a lie. This is a waste of energy. From this day forward, when I feel bad, I will search out the lie I'm believing. And I will practice telling myself the truth. Until I believe it. I stand in unapologetic confidence. I stand in unapologetic confidence. Knowing the truth of my divine nature. Because I'm kick-ass. Because I'm a badass. Because I am all that. Amen.
Okay, so we like to ground the message with music. Are you up for something a little different, maybe? Okay, so we're gonna, I invite you to stand if you're able, and you wanna spread out and you wanna be able to see us up here. So if you can't see us and what we're doing, because we're gonna turn you into rappers and dancers now. You're gonna be moving and dancing with us, okay? You ready? Okay, so this is it's an echo. You just repeat after me. I am incredible.
Incredible.
Okay. I kind of believed you. Here's the thing. We here are metaphysicians, right? So if we don't actually feel it, we pretend we do until we actually embody that, right? So let's try this again. I am
incredible. Incredible.
Yes, that was like, whoa, okay. I am
powerful. Powerful.
Nice. I am a miracle.
A miracle.
I am
divine.
Divine. Nice. All right, now we're going to put some moves together. Incredible, powerful.
Incredible, powerful.
Okay, next one, 2 again. Powerful, a miracle.
Powerful, a miracle.
You guys are echoes, so you get to watch me do it first before you even have to. Okay, now this is the super sophisticated part, all right? And one thing I always want to say, this is metaphysical nerd rap. You cannot get it wrong, right? You can't mess up. You're not going to look sillier than me, so don't worry about doing it right. There is no right. If someone says you're not doing it right, that's a liar. Okay, all right. So this is 4 moves together. You can watch me and then we'll run it, all right? So incredible, powerful, a miracle, divine. There's actually a cheat on this because it's 1 hand, 2 hands, 2 hands, back to 1, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's run that a few times. Incredible, powerful, a miracle, divine. And we're feeling it. Incredible, powerful, a miracle, divine. Incredible, powerful, a miracle, divine. One more time. Incredible, powerful, a miracle, divine. It'll go a little faster than that, too, so get ready. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
All right.
And then you're going to sing with me, okay? And there's movements with the singing, but it's much simpler than what you just did, so not a problem. So you're going to do them with me during the song, even though during the song we're actually going to still echo her, but you'll sing and move with me, but for teaching it to you, you'll echo. Okay, so it goes like this. I am. Now, this next part is the most important thing ever. The most important thing of the song for sure, but maybe ever. And it's that you can do any movement as long as you feel what you're saying, okay? And it's this. I am all that.
I am all that.
Beautiful. I am. Then there's 3. I am. And then we do the I am all that again. But
Yes.
you'll get it.
That's
You're
it.
very good.
Yeah.
Paula has you well trained
Yeah,
for singing.
totally. And I love to move. Don't be alarmed. No one's ever been hurt. So if you want to join me, feel free to move around. Okay. I think we're ready. Yeah?
Yep.
All around us everywhere are messages we see. How to think, how to talk, how to move, how to walk, how to live and be. They tell us that we're ugly. They tell us that we're fat. They tell us we'll feel so much better if we just buy that. But here's a little secret. Here's a little clue. Those messages you see and hear have nothing to do with you. You are God's creation. You're beautiful and free. So open your ears, open your mind, and repeat after me. I am incredible. I am powerful. I am a miracle. I am incredible, powerful, a miracle. Incredible, powerful, a miracle, divine.
Incredible, powerful, a miracle divine. I am all that I am. Number 3. I am all that. I am all that I am.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah. All right. Perhaps you think it's crazy. Perhaps you think it's vain to call yourself a miracle. Well, isn't that just vain? But God is a serious genius. God makes no mistakes. Everything about you is divinely made. Your eyes, your face, your arms, your legs. You're a work of art. And if you don't believe me, ask your heart. Turn within. You will see it's radiant and strong. The power that created you, that's been there all along. Dig it. I am incredible. I am powerful. I am a miracle. I am divine. Incredible, powerful, a miracle. Incredible, powerful, a miracle, divine.
Incredible, powerful, a miracle divine.
Well done.
Wow. You guys have been away too long. Whew. So right now, we're going to take a minute and we're going to prepare our love offerings in the only way we do it here, badass. Well, we have a few other ways, but. So this is our opportunity. So be preparing your love offering or holding that one that you give through electronic fund transfers or however you do it. Whether it's your time, your talent, or your treasure. Your time, your talent, and your treasure. The 3 T's is part of the foundation of this community. And we know that it's true. We hear things from Joy Justice, from World Relief, that what we offer from your tithes changes the world, one soul at a time. So hold those love offerings in your heart, in your hands with your beloved next to you and repeat after me or with me. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God. And so it is. I do believe that there is a lot of good material out in the courtyard to be had after service. And a lot of it is musical. Some of it is in t-shirt form and magnet form and mailing list form. So don't miss it.
Yeah. So I just quickly, I'll say this about the mailing list thing. Because did you want to say anything first? Okay. So the mailing list thing is our favorite thing. I mean, it's the thing that's free. So we'll also happily let you leave with things that you purchase from us. We have a lot of goodies. We actually now call it the Oh My God Life Mini Mall. Because we have so much, because she does cartoons on top of everything else. So we've got everything. So, but the mailing list thing. So every month we send out a video. It's 5 minutes or less. It's a message which you might guess is a little bit goofy, but also a true message. And it has music in it. And then our very, very favorite thing that we do ever. Every year we write a new song and record a video to send to you on the morning of your birthday. So if you sign up on our mailing list, you get a video on your birthday. One a month and then one on your birthday. Anyway, so, and if you don't want to do any of that stuff, we still like hugs, and we haven't gotten our quota this week, so we could use some more hugs. All right. Yeah. I used to disown myself. I did not know I was frightened. I wouldn't let myself be angry, that wasn't enlightened. Then my friend told me to really be free, I've got to be embracing every part of me. So even though sometimes it feels like pulling teeth, I go kicking and screaming down the path of transformation. Of myself as wise, full of insight, so rare. I think I really go with the flow, and I know I will stay there, right? I get to thinking I can handle any old change, then something new shows up, my life is rearranged, and suddenly I'm struggling and feeling so strange as I go kicking and screaming down the path of transformation. My higher self and my dark side giving me my information, yeah. Oh, learning to love every part of myself, even parts I'd hidden on the high shelf, kicking and screaming down the path of transformation, along with my wife.
Feeling all my feelings isn't pretty, but it's crucial. I got things inside I can't deny that would be futile. Push it away, not okay. Fight it, brutal. Only way out, find a new skill. I see it, I feel it, I heal and release it. So much better to surrender. But kicking and screaming is how I get there.
I go kicking and screaming down the path of transformation.
It's a pretty, but it's crucial. I got things inside I can't deny that would be futile.
Push
away, not okay. Fight it, brutal. Only way out, find a new skill.
Every part of myself, even parts I'd hidden on the high shelf, kicking and screaming down the path
Kicking and screaming is how I get there.
Kicking and screaming down the path of transformation.
Kicking and screaming is how I get
Thank you so much.
And would you come on up here and join me as we bless this love offering? Let's do it. And
Let's
do it in style. So we see all these love offerings, and we know that they touch beyond these walls. They screech? No. They touch beyond these walls, and they inspire, and they enlighten, and they release us to live a life of freedom. And let's sing now. Let's sing.